Well, we knew it was coming. The further ruination of Bob Iger via some documents from Trian that he's had on the corner of his desk for a long, long time. In fact, he had the first version of a white paper that was submitted by Trian Group going back probably over a year ago. Some documents that would help him guide the company to success. But did he use them? Apparently not. We're about to take a look at the most recent version that has been released to the public. Documents that provide some embarrassing insight into all of the many failures of Disney. Let's get started. And before we do so, we'll just mention very quickly that not only is Bob Iger exposed, that's right, Iger's Burning Castle. No, that's not a new anime. But we've also got to expose beachpunk.us. That's right, my website where you can pick up all of the amazing, wonderful goodness that is over there. Get yourself any kind of rooster gear, get yourself any tiki gear, get yourself all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. From stickers to water bottles to towels. We have it all. Anyway, thanks for checking it out. Let's get to the story, and we'll move on to what's actually happening. Filed by Variety yesterday, Disney should make fewer movie sequels. Where did I hear that recently? Somebody looked at these documents. Movie sequels take more shots on goal. We also agree with content strategy. And activist investor argues all of these things in a 133-page white paper. And not only that, the number one problem that we should all acknowledge is the 2019 acquisition of 21st Century Fox, or 20th Century Fox after they updated their name. That was strategically flawed. Yeah, no kidding. $54 billion, $71 billion. Yeah, strategically flawed. Moving on here, we're going to take a look at Nelson Peltz Trian Partners. They are agitating to get 2 seats on the board. They should get more. I think they should have 5 seats, to be fair. But hey, all they have to do is keep those weirdos from Blackwells out of there and it'll be much better off. But anyway, on Monday, they released their white paper, which Disney's basically already had in their hands, reportedly. And it's suggesting a lot of strategic fixes, which obviously they could help do if they had a couple of seats on the board from, well, Nelson Peltz himself and, of course, former CFO for Disney, Jay Rasulo. Now, the recommendations, according to Trian, are aimed at turning around Disney's total shareholder returns. Good. And it looks like at the company's April 3 shareholder meeting, they are going to make their best effort to get to, those 2 board seats. Now, they say that for more than a year, Trian has described its thoughts and strategies and goals, some of which Disney is now implementing. Oh, you mean they looked at the document sitting on the corner of Iger's desk for over a year? Well, yes. And as such as reducing excess costs, reinstating a dividend, and making the parks business a bigger part of Disney's growth strategy. Well, with that measly $60 billion, which barely would add anything to the parks in sum, is not going to do it. Anyway, so they says we are now making the 100-plus page presentation public with our comprehensive views. Because, again, this document isn't a secret, hasn't been a secret to Disney for a long time. And in the 133 pages, some of the most interesting pages are the ones that outline where Disney lied, misrepresented, misstated data, whatever it is. But they really do spell it all out, including recommending 2 paths for ESPN. One is that ESPN's standalone streaming service, which Disney is aiming to debut by 2025, be launched ideally with a bundle partner like Netflix or Amazon. Makes a lot of sense, and we've heard rumblings about that. And 2, ESPN should harvest cash out of its linear business to selectively reinvest in ESPN Plus and higher growth parts of Disney business such as Disney Plus. Although they're not really earning any money there. They have a bunch of subscribers running away from that, and you should probably check out that Park Place and WW Pro if you want the full deal there, although I'll probably get around to making a video as well. They also suggest merging Disney Plus and Hulu. That way it'll cut costs because the organizations will remove redundancies at that point, and that's really important. Looks like we still don't know what's going to happen as far as the Hulu stake goes, which it goes on to describe. And it talks about that Hulu Plus Live TV is a loss-leading product that has struggled to scale and adds limited strategic value. In our view, Live is not competitively positioned compared to YouTube TV, and I think I would agree with that. But it goes on and on and on and on. But here's the thing. They're not fooling around. They went to the global newswire, like PR Newswire, to get this information out there and share it with everybody globally, especially investors, anybody who's paying attention. And here we are with the white paper itself. Restore the Magic in PDF form. This is available for you to get. The link's actually in that Variety article that I put up there. It's also in the Global Newswire release, et cetera, et cetera. It's easy to find. And as you look, they're telling you to vote using the blue proxy card, which will put both Nelson and Jay Rasulo in positions of power, which, oh, let me tell you, they desperately need to be. They also actually even outline who that you should get rid of. So this is how they go about saying all the problems that are happening, chronic underperformance, root cause of that, and, of course, Trian's nominees being able to help. They break down lots of different things, including entertainment, sports, and experiences. Basically saying that these are underutilized, and of course, 36% of revenue is 70% of earnings before EBIT, interest and taxes, et cetera, et cetera. But summary financials: a $200 billion cap. Their enterprise value is about $245, so not quite where it needs to be. They are sitting at an $89 billion in revenue and a $14 billion in operating income, which is probably okay for them. They have all kinds of these advantages that they aren't taking advantage of, which they highlight here. You have adjusted revenue $59.4 billion in 2018. Adjusted revenue is $88.9 in 2023. That went up substantially, 50%. Good for them. Segment operating income is 15.7, and there for 2023 it's 12.9 billion, et cetera, et cetera. As you can see, these numbers are not going the right way. These negatives are not great. And the dividend, which they only announced in November of 2023, which was fiscally irresponsible for them to issue in the first place, they should have waited another year, was only 30 cents, an 82% drop there. And they've increased their net leverage position substantially, 110%. These are all bad things. This is not things that you want to have happen. And then they, of course, compare them to their peers, showing just how poorly Disney's performing. And the unprecedented transformation are seeing the earnings estimates falling materially. You can see those numbers there, 17% revision. And all the other underperformance. They really do break this down in a way that is easily digestible for most investors, pretty much making these votes a little bit simpler, especially since these are easily identified by Trian. These are amazing. Just kind of, it's like individual tombstones in a graveyard that was the future of Bob's desires. Sorry about that. But yeah, as you continue to roll through here, you see basically their assessment overall. And this just goes on. And it's terrible. But then you get to the fallacies that Disney's been spitting out. And this is something that we covered over on That Park Places member stream, which you should probably, if you're not a member over there, you should consider doing so, because you're going to get special streams like that to kind of break stuff like this down. But as you can see, these are all the places where Disney misrepresented, starting here. Disney's claims are unfounded and misleading. So, according to a letter to shareholders, it said Disney has overcome one of the most challenging periods in its history, and a new era of building is well underway. Well, Trian says Since Disney announced its most recent transformation in February of 2023, that's just not a month ago, Disney TSR is down 3% in this new era, underperforming both the company's, hang on, we need to scroll over, sorry about that, the company's media industry proxy peers by 39% and the S&P by 29%. Consensus earnings per share estimates for fiscal year 25 have fallen approximately 17%. That's not good. And 2 of Disney's last 5 movies have reportedly failed to turn a profit, and the studio segment lost $224 million in Q1 of 2024. And actually, yeah, they're right. The last several movies have failed. The last 5, yes, they're in big trouble. Mr. Iger has been the top executive at Disney for nearly 20 years, except for 11 months. We believe Disney's challenges are the result of Disney's board's lack of foresight and strategic oversight, and I would agree. Okay, so here's another statement in the letter to shareholders. The attempts by the Trian Group are likely to derail Disney's progress. How? They've been derailing it themselves. So they go on. With more than 3 decades of experience serving on public company boards, Mr. Peltz has demonstrated an ability to work constructively and collaboratively with management and incumbent directors, yada, yada. Essentially, everything they have here, they're knocking down. Mr. Peltz brings no media experience. Mr. Peltz currently serves on the board of a multi-billion-dollar entertainment company, Madison Square Garden Sports Corp., and previously served on the board of MSG Networks, which was a sports media and entertainment company. So there you are. And media experience does not appear to be a prerequisite for board service at Disney, given that 9 of the 11 non-management directors lack such experience, which I agree with. Mr. Peltz has presented no strategic ideas, for Disney. Wrong. We're reading from it right now. This is one of 2 documents, white papers, that Mr. Iger was handed. Plenty of ideas in here, as you can read if you would like to. The other 116 or 17 pages worth. They're saying Nelson Peltz doesn't understand Disney's business. I would suggest that's not true. Mr. Peltz suggests that Disney is currently touting a $7.5 billion cost reduction plan and a 10-year $60 billion capital investment in the parks business, which, that's really kind of stating what they're doing. So he talks about all those things. It just, these claims just go on and on. Misleading claims. The Disney board is comprised of engaged, diverse, and dynamic leaders whose skill sets are closely aligned with the key drivers of our business. This is funny. 1/3 of the directors have 1 or 2 skills that the board defines as central to, only 1 or 2 skills that the board finds central to the Disney's strategic strategy. Mr. Froman and Ms. Logmasino, the directors we are seeking to replace, both have only 1 such skill: 360-degree brand activation. An ambiguous skill. Building brands that transcend entertainment. Okay. That Disney claims every one of its directors possesses. Well, apparently that's the only skills that they possess. But meanwhile, both Trian's nominees have 5 of Disney's 6 central skills, including experience in media and entertainment, direct-to-consumer, strategic transformation, and succession planning, in addition to a 360-degree brand activation. Only 2 of Disney's non-management directors have media entertainment experience. This just goes on and on. I love this. Anyway, you get the point. This white paper is out there for you to review. After page 126, it gives you all of the conclusions and everything else, which you can certainly scan through, and some suggestions of how to vote the blue card, which I think a lot of investors are doing, much to Disney's chagrin. Oh, boy. On that note, what do you think? Do you think Disney's house is on fire? Is the castle aflame? Is Iger to blame? How about all those executive board members that are really not prepared for the job and are only there to say yes to Bob? Oh, I don't know. You'll have to let me know down in the comments section below, and I can't wait to have that conversation. This is going to be fire. We've got, of course, town hall after town hall this week, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday, and I hope you get a chance to check out the live streams that go along with those. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. And until next time, see ya.